is the aquaponics tank. This is where the goldfish are kept that are harvested to help keep in check with the plants. There's a ratio of 3 gallons per fish, and there's roughly 45 fish in this tank. The fish need to be constantly regulated to see if they're acting strange or anything. Like if all the fish come up to the surface, that means that something needs to be changed in the levels of the pH. The fish also need to be watched for if there's one that's doing something weird or is isolating itself or swimming funny or anything like that. So the fish are generally checked often to keep in check with plants.
You have to do water changes all the time. It's really hard to keep things like the ammonia and nitrate, and all of that in check, and the pH. But with the aquaponics, what happens with the fish is all of that bad stuff goes up through into the filtration system, and then into this media bed, which is around the plants, that takes it all out, which basically means that your fish, you don't have to do water changes. It's a lot less work. You don't have to do the water changes because the water is constantly being cleaned, which it keeps the fish healthier. And yeah.
Hello, Bettina and Marilyn here, and we're going to be testing the nibate and the cutter. It says we need to dip it in 1 second, and you can take the excess water. Then should turn a shade to tell us what it is. And now we're going to check the temperature. And it is 73.1 degrees Fahrenheit, which is good. Thank you.
Now we're going to measure the amount of dissolved oxygen in the water.
So what the number that we're going to get means is how many parts of dissolved oxygen there are per million.
And right now the water is reading at 9.1.
So at around 9 parts per million, it's really good for the fish. You don't want it to get any higher or any lower than 5 parts per million, and right around 2 parts per million, they'll die. So the higher the better.
In order to keep that from happening, there are 2 air compressors in this tank that are sort of a fail-safe in case one goes out. There's still plenty of oxygen coming from those. And there's also oxygen coming from the water that flows into the tank.
Okay, so right now we're going to measure the ammonia levels in the water. So I'm going to take this sample of the water. Okay. And we're also going to do a sample with distilled water. And this will be the distilled water, this is the fresh water. And we're measuring it with 2 types of ammonia. NH3 is a toxic form of pneumonia, and NH4 is a sort of less toxic, or just kind of normal level. And so for the distilled water, measured, it's about this yellow, and it measures about 0 levels of parts per million milligrams of ammonia. And the fish water measured about 0.25 or 5 points of 5 parts to a million grams of pneumonia. And right now that's a little bit toxic, but that's fine. If it got more down into like the 0.1 to or lower, it would be very toxic, and they would have to take out at least 3 parts of the water and refill it to control the levels.
Hi guys, so this is the next part of the video, and this is about how the plants grow. So the fish create an ammonia that is then transferred up into these white tubes and then sent into the beds. And a bacterium called nitrobacteria uses the ammonia to create a nitrite. The nitrite then is converted into nitrate, which is used for the plants as nutritious. So it helps nutrition that helps the plants grow and thrive.
Also, you can see that there are some worms located in the beds that also help give the plants some extra nutrition to help them grow and to make their leaves stronger and more useful. And so some of the plants that we have in here would be lettuce.
The pH level is very important when growing plants. This is because the fish prefer a pH level of 7.5 because this favors the type of ammonia that is not toxic. Plants, however, prefer a 6.5 pH level because this favors the formation of soluble micronutrients as iron. So this is why you have to meet right in the middle to favor both sides of the aquaponics system with a pH level of 7. Now I'm going to test the pH level. Yeah, we're going to edit all this. Using a simple test strip such as this, you can see that the pH is a little bit high. It's more towards an 8 than a 7. As you can see here, the iron levels are off in this plant, so it's starting to yellow and look abnormal. This can be fixed by adjusting the iron and pH.
When working with aquaponics, there's two types of beds used for growing. This one is the media bed, and it's for more, for different types of plants that require more nutrients and fertilizer from the fish to grow. This is the media bed, and the media bed uses an even flow system, and the even flow system is created with the bell siphon. Over here is the bell siphon, and you can see that if you lift it up, the one side of the tube in the tank will fill up, and then when you put it down, it will stop. And that's called an even flow system, and that's important to get the nutrients to the plants that need them the most. The second type of bed that they use is called a raft bed, and that's over here behind the media bed. The raft bed uses a continuous flow system with the piping, and with the continuous flow system, it's easier for the plants that don't need as much nutrients to grow, such as leafy vegetables and herbs, because they don't need as much nutrients and the worms and the even flow system. The raft bed is the most profitable part of aquaponics because it's easiest, it has the most rapid turnaround, and it's used for specialty markets such as restaurants and different chefs that need the specialty herbs and lettuce.
Alright, thanks for learning about aquaponics with us. See you next time.